So, Nuggs, let's talk about the Ascent.
Yeah. I really like that it is up to 4-player couch co-op on top of it being co-op.
Just ripping right out the gate with the features you like. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's blown me away, honestly. Like so far, I mean, it's what? It's like a 10-person team, something like that.
Yeah, basically.
And it feels like a AAA game to me.
Yeah, it does not feel like 11 people made it, or 10, or however few.
Yeah, now the people that made it are like absolute industry veterans from what I understand. Like these people have worked on like some of the who's what's of titles.
Oh, they have? I thought it was an indie studio.
It is. They all branched out. Like they kind of like left what they were doing and made their own. Yeah, their own thing. So that's really cool. Like some of the things about it that blow me away are, I mean, one, it's 4-player couch co-op, right? Even on PC. Yeah. And so, I mean, that's exceedingly rare to me these days.
Usually most games nowadays, if it is co-op, it's online co-op, and it's very rare nowadays that I feel that when a game does do co-op, they barely do it couch co-op. So not only does it have couch co-op, but it's 4 people. Usually when it's couch co-op nowadays, it's 2. So it is nice to be able to have a real group mentality to this game.
Yeah, I mean, because I was thinking that same thing. I was thinking that, like, that every single character, not only can they interact with the world, but like every single character can be their own unique build. Because the game it's so much more of an RPG than I was expecting. Like, from the trailers, I thought it was just going to be a twin-stick shooter, you know, in a cool setting, but it's not that at all. It's a full-on RPG, like full control of your stats, your gear, your build.
Yeah, which I find it really awesome and very intriguing, because I love Diablo and this has a very Diablo feel. And it's nice to have like my palate cleansed of a Diablo game that isn't Diablo. Like it's its own thing. It's cyberpunk in theme, and I am fully here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that I put it to a friend was that it's like if Diablo and Gears of War had a baby, and that baby got adopted by Cyberpunk. Like, it's so crisp though. Like when you play it, you don't feel like you're playing an indie title at all. Like the gameplay is just, you know, I don't like to use the word perfect, but I mean, it just is so crisp.
Yeah, I don't find too many flaws. I mean, we found like that one texture bug where we got kind of stuck in the world and we just had to like touch something and then go into the main menu and then go back into the game and it was fixed. But like, I haven't found personally too many bugs with this game, which is very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, especially compared to a lot of like AAA titles that get released in like a completely half-formed state, if you will. Like
Cyberpunk 2077?
Hey, I'm one of the last defenders of that title.
No, but this has like a Diablo meets Cyberpunk without it feeling so hollow. Because what I've played of Cyberpunk and what I've watched, I didn't, like, yes, I kind of connected to the character, but like I didn't feel fully immersed. And this game, I feel like I can see everything. I can look into windows. I feel like I'm living in this universe just by the level creation.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like Cyberpunk. I think that it has probably some of the best like main story missions, but you raise a good point with the Ascent in that, you know, just walking around the world, like it's such a lived-in world. Like just the population of like NPCs, even the ones you can't interact with, they look like they're living lives, you know, and it just has this incredibly grimy feel, you know, like, and dude, like the vistas, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're walking around and you just kind of like look off in the distance, and even at great distances, like you see these little people walking around, and it's just, I mean, I don't know. I need to look into these devs more, but they're just, they left nothing out. Like they forgot nothing.
It's like, I don't want to like overhype this game, but to me, because I love a Diablo-like game, this feels like, oh shoot. Now I can't even remember the singer's name that went so hard. Phil Collins. This is like the Phil Collins, like they didn't have to go so hard with like the world building, but they did. Cause like the ground on the like multi-level levels, they have glass in the floor, so you can look down and see the NPCs just milling about, living in the world. Like that is an extra mile that I love to see in a game, and makes me that much more like hard on for the game.
So that's your one sentence review is it's the Tarzan soundtrack of video games.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm sure there are bugs and stuff, but like I haven't found them. And like, I don't know if that's because we're playing on PC, but like even the like 1 to 2 bugs that we have found, it doesn't make me not want to play it. I'm like, oh, well, whoops, like got stuck in the world. Let me just like boop, boop out of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you were saying, like they didn't have to go so hard, but everything is like pitch perfect in the Ascent. Like the music, there are a couple tracks that I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, oh shit, I'm playing a game. Like I'm not just sitting here listening to this song, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are plenty of times where my character will just be walking into a wall because I'm looking at the world, because I want to know and experience, and I want to live in this world. Like as grimy, as dirty, as like disgusting and deceitful as this world feels, I love that, and I want to be a part of it. And I'm like, oh wait, I'm playing a game. I'm not watching a movie. I'm not like reading a book. This isn't real life. Like this is awesome. Yeah. I mean, you raise a good point, because it feels like you're playing a movie. You know, like it feels to me. I think this could be the start of a franchise. Oh, for sure. And like, I understand if they don't, because it can get like muddled and like overplayed or whatever, but I don't think that this outing, if you will, would have that effect necessarily. Yeah.
So like when we fired it up for the first time, you know, the 15 minutes impression that I got, like when we got into the first fight, I was like, oh my God, like, holy shit. Like it felt so good to me. The combat, it's deceptively deep and it's deceptively tactical. Like I felt like it was like real-time XCOM.
Yes, that is, you bring up such a good comparison. It does feel like real-time XCOM, where XCOM is turn-based. This, you have to be on top of your shit, because some of these mobs that happen, these mob fights, they will do you dirty. Like even if you're on the same level as them, like character-wise, they're gonna overwhelm you, and they're gonna use really smart AI tactics against you. So you gotta take cover. You gotta use your like surroundings to your advantage, like explosive barrels or what have you.
Yeah, well, I mean, you use the word levels, and that actually brings up a really good point about the combat that kind of stunned me, is that even though it's an isometric action RPG, there's a mechanic where, you know, when you're walking around, you're like holding your weapon at your hip, and so it's like a mid-level firing position, right? But then you can like ADS, air quotes ADS, and you're firing at like head level. And then you can also crouch, which is still that mid-level, but you are ducking those head level shots. And then you can raise your weapon over cover and fire at head level. Like it blew me away when I started realizing that, like, even though a guy was behind cover and that cover was blocking my mid-level shots, I could raise my weapon and hit him in the head. Or I could go down and like be like a floor below my enemy and raise my weapon and like hit them over the slightest cover. Like I'm blown away by the Ascent.
Yeah, like speaking to that, definitely in the games that I've experienced, if someone is at the top of the stairs and you're at the bottom, for the most part in games like this, you can't necessarily point your gun up and shoot them and actually hit them. Like usually it goes into the stairs like at their feet or like 2 steps below them. And this, you can actually hit them in the chest from at the bottom of the stairs or behind the stairs. Like it's very impressive.
Yeah, and like the depth of character building is wild. I mean, we haven't been playing that much yet, you know, but
yeah.
like already I've got this kind of like tanky commando type of build, you know, where I can like record my body's data and then go into the fight, and after a timer, then my health will reset to the point where I recorded it, and then you've got this like crazy space gunslinger thing going on where you're clearing like entire screens, you know, like.
Well, yeah, that I forget what it's called, the skill. I should have wrote it down when we were like playing and taking notes of like the different names of like what I'm using. But basically, like being able to mark enemies in a certain distance around me that when they die, they explode and do damage. Like that is unbelievable.
Yeah. To me, like $30 for that game, $30 US is a bargain.
Yes, I would have thought if I went in this blind and no one told me how much it was or how many people made it, I would have thought it was a AAA game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I can't recommend it enough. I'm a huge proponent of co-op, you know, especially couch co-op, like, and the game feels like a game from yesteryear, you know, like it feels like a game from back when devs were making games that weren't just vehicles for DLC.
Yes, it doesn't feel like they're trying to get money out of me. It doesn't feel like they're just trying to push out something so that like the company is happy. It feels true. It feels genuine, and it feels like they actually put love into the game, as like cheesy as that sounds.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, we're getting a little long in the tooth here for this recording, but yeah, for everybody listening, I can't recommend the Ascent enough. I think it's on all modern consoles and PC.
Yes.
We're playing it on Xbox Game Pass for PC, so if you are subscribed to that, then it was a day one drop on that service. So yeah, that's our thoughts about the Ascent.
I hope you enjoyed it.
So yeah, if you guys did enjoy the podcast or the YouTube video, wherever you're watching, Nuggs and I both stream regularly over on Twitch. The links will be down below. And for anybody listening on the podcast, you can look us up. I'm Immortal Griff on Twitch.
And I'm Nugget_babe.
Yeah,
on Twitch.
Awesome conversation, Nuggs. Thanks for talking with me about the Ascent.
Yeah, it was a blast.
All right, we'll catch you guys later.